Please welcome Ivan Garriga, co-founder, AI and VFX Flowcrafter, and César Pesquera, co-founder and CCO at Capsign.
Hello, everyone. Wow. Thank you for being here. We're here actually because of this little guy here. We are Capsign, an AI-driven production studio, creative production company. Where are we?
Production lab.
Yeah, we're still figuring out. I'm César.
And I'm Ivan.
And this is the rest of our core team. They are not here. We might say hello if they are watching us. We miss you guys. I've been a director myself for more than 15 years. Arnau is also a filmmaker, creative producer. Mark, executive producer. Ivan, you come from filmmaking also.
And post-production.
And now into post-production. And Kim, he's a creative director, AI director. You might know him as Fake is Real. He's doing like amazing stuff.
We all have more than 15 years, you said, no? You already said
Yeah,
it.
sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. I was connecting with it.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. We forgot to say that we have a history, right? We
yeah.
have.
Don't worry.
We've been working in filmmaking and advertising for more than 15 years altogether. And this was where our story starts. Right here, not right here, in San Francisco, we did this as the opening titles for Upscale Conference in San Francisco. And it's meant to be a metaphor of how we feel with AI. We're chasing it like desperately. It's thrilling. It's exciting, but at the same time, it's like we can't really keep up, following all the updates and everything. I guess you relate to that feeling. And the black cube, the little black cube, was the metaphor of that AI.
And yes, I can hear the comments. Usually I feel that AI videos has like an expiry date, no? When you see this video, it feels old, you know? It is not perfect. It has some consistency problems. And AI people on LinkedIn are a little bit picky, you know?
But we can talk about consistency. Do you want to talk about consistency? Let's do it. Look at this dummy right here. This is funny, this stiff marlin. Okay. This is the dummy Marilyn Monroe. And this is a movie called River of No Return that, these days might be problematic for other reasons, as you can see in the posters. But this movie was directed by one of the biggest film directors of all time, Otto Preminger. And despite that consistency problem, it is considered a great movie. There are other examples.
There are other examples like this. There's a famous pancake in Pretty Woman. But believe me, nobody was looking at the pancake,
Yeah, croissant magically becomes a pancake,
Yeah.
And nobody says, oh, Pretty Woman is a really bad movie because croissant becomes a pancake, because it has a continuity problem, right?
And look how imperfect and inconsistent is this monster and its movements. It was never a problem then, and it's not a problem now. Now it's something funny, but it was like that.
Yeah, we feel that sometimes with AI, generative AI filmmaking, we are not seeing the forest for the trees. We are too focused on the details. And it was never about perfection. It has never been about perfection. It's always been about vision, emotion, accident, and discovery. That's in our opinion, that's what cinema is about, and filmmaking is about. And of course, it's not about doing things faster or cheaper or cleaner. It's all about the ideas, the stories, and being brave enough to explore the limits of filmmaking, of the cinematic language, and experiment and explore those edges. And after all this journey in history, we are here with AI, right? And we realize that every technical innovation comes with a new language. This is view from the window at L'Écran. It's considered to be the first photograph in history. It was done by Joseph Nicephore-Nice around 1826. It requires several hours of exposure, and it's not a great picture. It's not a beautiful picture. It has no great definition. It doesn't tell a story, but of course, it was the beginning of something.
You agree with me that it needs an upscale, maybe this this image.
Well, I like the grainy thing.
Yeah, we get that grain, more grain.
And of course...
Please welcome Linus Eckenstam, Jonathan Dorn, CEO at Fedora, co-founder and CCO at Capsign.
This is not prepared?
It has never been about perfection.
Okay.
We all know the invention of the photographic camera was the beginning of a new art form, of a new language, something that started as something technical. This guy, Joseph Nicephore, was not an artist, was more like a scientific. And even, it influenced the way painting evolved and transformed exploring new territories. That's how Impressionism was created, or abstract art, painting, stopped being an imitation of the world and began to express the inner world of the artist.
And same thing happened with music when the sampler was invented. And it was also kind of problematic in terms of authorship issues. Music exploded in a whole world of different directions.
Yeah, I remember the arguments back in the time, like, oh, that's not doing music, that's not, because you're not playing an instrument. So kind of rings the bell, right?
Specifically in cinema, the invention of sound. This is the jazz singer. This was the end of the silent film era. This image began to have its own voice. It was a game changer also for the cinema. Or the invention of editing. Suddenly one shot after another shot could trigger emotions. Until this moment, movies were basically film theater, a static frame, always a wide shot. Everything happened inside the frame. It was like a theater.
Also, the evolution of the size of the cameras, allowed operators, to move around with cameras, being close to the characters, being more free, and that developed, again, another language, which was like, more raw, more fresh, and that goes to cinema verite, French New Wave, all the type of more documentary style. The cinematic language is always evolving and changing because of these technical innovations. And we are entering the era in which the art of cinematic storytelling is freed from its physical constraints. This is the classic journey of a filmmaker or a director, A director has a vision, and he or she needs to start writing, whether it's a script, it's a treatment, and then most of the time they are pitching, whether it's a commercial, feature film, or music video, and then finally, you get the fundings, you start production, all the production stage, and finally, your vision becomes real, right? And this is a long journey. You need to do a lot of things here, and you need a lot of people. Suddenly, we are very close to see our visions, to be real, Just we start writing, we start prompting, and we can start seeing what we see in our minds, Before that, this journey was way larger and tougher. We are painters right now as filmmakers. We didn't have the opportunity to create on our own, like painters did, or like writers did. We needed all the crew, we need the money, we need the, and suddenly we can start creating on our own, which is like another game changer.
It just drives me nuts that we have to do something in 2 days. If somebody arbitrarily says you got to do it in 2 days, that fucking really pisses me off. Okay. It really does. We're always up against the fucking, I'm not working this way again, ever. This is absolutely horrible. We never get any extra shots. We never get any time to experiment. We never get to, go dreamy or anything. We barely fucking make our days. I could have spent a week in the Fireman's. I love that place. And dream up all kinds of stuff.
This is the... I love this. This is the classic tension between, a creative mind and a production department. And I love how David Lynch how he speaks about going dreamy or dreaming for 1 week in this location. It's something we're not allowed in terms of traditional production or traditional filmmaking because, you know, there's money, we need to maximize our resources, and that make us work in a way that it's very far from this idea of being a painter, right? Now we can drift, we can dream, and we can make mistakes at no cost. I mean, that's very important because we can experiment, we can try things. You know, as a painter, you know, drawing something, throw it to the garbage, but, you know, at least you had the opportunity to try, right?
We are very curious about who will be the future artists transforming cinematic language again with the use of AI. Who will be the next Orson Welles or the next Godard? Or David Lynch. We will never know what a creative and twisted mind like Lynch could have done with Gen AI.
But if we pay attention, we might see already some people who are like, you know, revolutionizing the cinematic language and using AI in expressive ways. You know, like, you know, Dupido, who has a very specific style, a very surreal. Ken Skutin also doing these crazy journeys between universes, crazy camera movements. This is an opportunity that a creative mind has now. You know, they don't need, you know, the crew, the money. They are independent and able to produce something on their own. You know, this talent can surface immediately now. Marcelo, who's there? Marcelo Costa, he's been working with us sometimes, and he was working with us in this Upscale film, and he's a hell of a director. And I love how he uses the specific of AI to create these visuals and these universes. Or this couple, Vale Duhamel, who has a very interesting journey from something very crafty, tactile, to motion graphics, to live action, and now they are creating these universes, some fragmented narratives with AI. And this explosion of singular visions are changing, are reshaping the way we work.
But maybe not in the way we think. Despite the development of individual creativity, we at Capsai believe in teamwork. As a proof of that, here's the behind the scenes of the shape of becoming, what we saw before.
We had the honor of creating the opening and closing titles for Upscale Conf, a 2-day event in San Francisco all about AI, design, creativity, and other buzzwords that keep us up at night. That also gave us the chance to dive into the Free Pick AI Suite, a powerful set of tools that opened up new creative possibilities for us. We assembled the team. Ideas flew around like popcorn in a microwave. Eventually, one idea stuck. We wrote a script. The concept, a woman running. No map, no GPS, just vibes. And the desperate energy of trying to keep up with generative AI. She's chasing a mysterious black cube. The cube is our symbol for AI, powerful, abstract, and slightly intimidating. As she chases it, she sprints through different worlds, each one inspired by a speaker at the event. We tried a bunch of AI video models. Kling 2.0 won the race. It handled fast motion like a champ. To bring the first scene to life, we decided to shoot it in live action. We cast an actress, filmed her on a minimal set, and captured reference photos. Those photos, we fed them to Flux to train a custom model, so she'd still look like herself once the AI got involved. A team of 8 artists and filmmakers collaborated to build and refine each universe. We generated over 5,000 images, which became the foundation for the sequences that would eventually shape the film. For the opening scene, we extended the footage using AI and transformed the simple set into a museum. We did more than 10 different versions of the edit. Everything went to 4K, because pixelated metaphors aren't cute. The black cube was integrated using CGI, blending it in like it was always meant to be there. Add color grading, sprinkle in some VFX, boom, we're in post. We composed an original soundtrack designed to capture the essence of the story and its emotional tone. This film was brought to life by the creativity and vision of 25 individuals, artists, filmmakers, musicians, and storytellers whose human touch shaped every frame. One chase, many worlds, all powered by imagination and AI.
To see you again, to love you again, I'll come to see you again.
Something I always like to remark is that, there were like 25 human beings involved in this project. And I personally, I think we are quite against this narrative you see on internet, on LinkedIn, like, okay, this was done in 4 hours with $500. It's not realistic. Come on, I mean, it's tough. Let's say there's still friction. There's a lot of iteration, a lot of trial and error. If you work in a team, you have to, discuss things. And this was like 6 weeks of work, or
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
before,
Maybe we started
1 month thinking
Yeah.
about the idea, and well.
So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, especially if you have a client, processes take time, and you need to know how to deal with them. And it's not, I wouldn't say AI, it's easy in a way, but in other ways, it's also time-consuming, as many of you might know.
Well, this is not the time or place to dive into one of my favorite topics. It's our project workflows. But let's just say that, thanks to AI, they have become the Rubik's Cube of post-production, constantly shifting on every side. It goes without saying that our clients are going to love. This is Paul, our post-production coordinator. Our clients are going to love this new way of working, because on the same day the master is delivered, they will still have time to add new shots to the final edit. And this is crazy.
Yeah, we need to work on that, because sometimes it's like, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. We also believe work will not lose its human touch or fall into sameness. As an example, for a campaign for Movistar, one of Spain's leading audiovisual platforms, we were commissioned to create a series of stolen images capturing people enjoying, celebrating, and suffering while watching a football match. We generated around 600 images to end up with a final corrected selection of 50. Not bad, right? The challenge was to make the images look completely real, as usual, but with a very specific look and feel that would leave no hint of AI generation. To achieve this, we combined multiple AI tools, depending on each scene needs, and thankfully, during the production phase, Flux context appears. Yes, this was a long time ago, maybe 6 months. Another real game changer. Nano Banana doesn't exist yet. The creative director from the agency commented that truly surprised us was that after seeing the final result, they conclude that this campaign had been photographed with real people, real location, real outfits, and real props, and all the feedbacks that you have in all the process, it wouldn't have looked as real as it is in AI.
It would have been more advertising, because you start doing a casting and you get feedbacks from
more
clients.
Artificial.
Yeah, much more artificial with real people. I mean, I love that comment, because it was like, yeah, I mean, these people are like your neighbors, and we didn't go through that process. So, oh no, but change this guy. And also the lighting was very, very raw. Yeah.
That's right. We believe that Gen AI has to live with traditional workflows, and we will still should, and we will use VFX. However, traditional linear model of the workflow, the holy trinity of pre-production, production, and post-production, it will disappear. And we need to start building new workflows. Together with J. Bayona, one of Spain's most internationally recognized film directors, we had the opportunity to create a fully hybrid production, blending traditional filmmaking with advanced AI post-production techniques.
Hay un lugar en otra dimensión, donde la tierra muere y la luz proyecta pesadillas. Un reino habitado por almas sedientas de terror, donde la realidad pierde su sentido y lo desconocido toma el control.
¿Te atreves a venir?
J. Bayona y Cupra te traen el Festival de Sitges a tu cine. Compra tu entrada y conecta en directo para disfrutar del cortometraje Señuelo y la premiera europea de Vieja Loca. 9 de octubre en tu cine favorito.
To bring these scenes to life, we work exclusively with footage of him driving and a few on-set plates. The remaining shots were generated through a combination of AI and traditional VFX compositing methods. This is me shooting on the set. All the plates that I need.
A infinito.
Well, this is me talking. Okay. Shooting the plates that I need to make the compositing with AI.
I mean, I love how, how small and like kind of low budget this shooting was. Like just a warehouse, the car,
only
a couple
car.
of fans, and you were actually generating footage while you were shooting, right?
Based at the same time. Yeah. When we were shooting this, on the next stage, we were 4 guys, 4 people, creating content for also after composite.
We also believe in, fostering unique singular visions with the power of AI and the support of an experienced team. This is the case of Kim, one of the 5 partners in Capsai. Fake is real. Kim is a creative director. He comes from graphic design. And thanks to AI, he's been able to develop his AI, his filmmaking skills. Now we're going to see a film he did on his own. It's 100% AI, but it's going to be it's the beginning of a new series we want to do within Capsai, combining AI with live action footage and doing like collaborations with live action directors in a sort of a regular basis, like different episodes. This would be the first one.
We are made to be in nature. City life can be heavy on us. I love the idea. It's a way to heal. I let nature enter my system and just realign. You just need to pause, tune everything out, listen to yourself.
Yeah, it's called Moods. You might know this piece, and as I said, we want to explore other moods within this series. And we delivered this on Friday or Monday?
Yeah, Friday, last Friday. Yeah.
This is our very last project, fresh from the oven. We're still working on our director's cut because we're peaking. We want to fix a few things. But we wanted to share this with you guys here. It's, the format is like a regular commercial piece for architects' studios.
And there goes Tim's apple. You see, Tim is an engineer at Sweco, which has always been known for its great engineering and consulting. But now they're welcoming architects, like Chen over there. And engineers and architects, let's just say they have differing views. Rational versus intuitive, numbers versus sketches, neat professional shoes versus whatever those may be. But in time, out of their clashes, greatness will be born. Sweco is now welcoming architects. Friction builds greatness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're running out of time. Okay, with all this journey, we are doing. We feel right now, in terms of AI and filmmaking, we are very much close to this moment when the Lumiere brothers screened this, and everybody was amazed by the realism on one side. On the other side, they were frightened. They were scared, even panicking. And I think we live in a similar moment, right? And it's true that sometimes it's scary. It's true. I mean, we don't want to, we face it, okay? Sometimes it's kind of scary. But I really like this image because somehow it encapsulates the fear, the problem, and the solution as well, which is, we as humans, we need to put that creative seed, that idea, that story, with our traumas, with our imperfections. And of course, it's human to feel fear, but it's our humanity that will guide us on this journey. We believe this is not the end of the audiovisual industry. It is a rebirth. Thank you. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.